Today, let's resurrect a relic from the past. How come no one talks about butterscotch anymore? So hello again, everyone. Welcome back to my home. Please make yourself comfortable, and it's a dessert day, which is great. I got my Maida Heater's new book of great desserts right by my side. She looks like she's having fun. I mean, it was that smile that did it for me. I just randomly picked this book off the shelf, flipped through it, and when I'm about to choose a dessert to make for the very first time, it has to be something that really grabs my attention. And this one did, because it's something I used to hear about all the time growing up, and nowadays it's kind of just like crickets. I'm talking about butterscotch, of course, and this is Old Fashioned Butterscotch Pie. It's an old Southern recipe, making a velvety, smooth, and creamy pie with a rich butterscotch flavor. So yeah, the word butterscotch there has really just sent me spiraling through a portal of space and time to the past. And here I am as a dumb idiot child sitting around the dinner table, and my parents are serving me butterscotch pudding. It started as a powder in a Jell-O box. Remember?
Jell-O butterscotch pudding, as smooth as ever.
Anyway, I haven't thought about all that in like 10,000 years, and then butterscotch sent me down a rabbit hole.
But I'm the butterscotch one of the family, ever since I was a little kid.
I started to wonder, like, what the hell happened to butterscotch? I understand there's butterscotch sundaes. Okay, I'm not talking about that. Anyway, is it like not cool anymore? When did it fall out of favor with everyone? Is it just like too associated with grandmas and hard candy? Why is caramel in and butterscotch out? And what is the difference between the two? I don't have the answers to most of those questions. Maybe the last one, let's figure that out. Anyway, why don't we all just kind of bring this sucker back? The great butterscotch rebranding has begun. It's time, whether you like it or not. So we're gonna start off making our pie dough, beam it in. So you have seen me make many pie doughs before. There's a recipe in the cookbook. I'm gonna take the ingredients of that recipe, but at the same time, she's doing all of this with her hands, and I'm like, okay, well, I just kind of wanna cut right through it. So using the food processor, WizKid, and I always like to double the recipes because in case I screw something up, I have a backup plan. 2 cups of all-purpose flour, teaspoon of salt, pulse a couple times, pulse. In goes 6 tablespoons of chilled butter that I had chopped up into little pieces, 6 tablespoons of chilled vegetable shortening. Pulse it until I got some coarse crumbs. Total of 1/3 cup of iced water, and I'm gonna add in a tablespoon at a time. Probably not all of it until this thing comes together. Holds together when I pinch it, perfect. Into a disc shape, and then I'm gonna chill it till it's firm. Roll it out on my floured surface into like a circle shape, something that, you know, is gonna fit into my pie dish. That'll do. Just do something like that. That should work. Once you've successfully lined your pie dish with some tin foil and a bunch of raw chickpeas that I use as a pie weight, just get this in the freezer just 10 minutes so that it can just chill. Par bake, 450 degrees Fahrenheit for 12 to 13 minutes. Today's video is sponsored by DoorDash. 'Cause, honestly, sometimes cooking for yourself isn't always what you dreamed up. Sometimes you just open up the fridge and it's barren, right? Some condiments, half an onion, and this one just has butter in it. Au contraire, maybe it's a fridge that's just completely full and you're craving something else. Now this is where DoorDash saves you, because it's not just meals, right? They have groceries and produce, even like the random thing that you could have forgotten at the store. Say you're halfway through cooking something and you realize I'm missing that one key ingredient. I'm not gonna drag myself back to the store. Well, why whip out your phone, make that order? It's solved. So if you'd like to give it a shot yourself, download DoorDash, use the code antichef50, you get 50% off up to $10 on your first order of $15 or more. It's like a limited time only sort of thing. Again, that's the code antichef50. DoorDash. It's your door to more. Let's get back to work. I realized that I suck at pie dough. Glaring issues with what I've done here. I just realized that I never had an edge to crimp to make some cool hip pattern with this thing. I just took the rolling pin and just slid it across the top. So it just looks like an assembly line pie crust. Also, there's a wide array of cracks and holes in this thing. Honestly, it's like some sort of child made this. Okay, this is working. I'm just kind of wetting my finger a little bit and sticking pieces of the raw dough into the cracks. Bingo. So I got the oven set to 400 degrees Fahrenheit now, and this is gonna go in for 7 to 8 minutes. I should mention that I retroactively poked the base of the crust with a fork because I've forgotten. Anyway, I've done it now, and that should limit the amount of rising the base does while it's baking like this. 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 to 8 minutes. Here we go. It's not gonna win the beauty pageant, but I think it will work for our pie. This is an optional step here, but let's exercise the option of half a cup of chopped pecans to the base of that pan. And now we're gonna put that aside. Great, Scott. So what is the difference between caramel and butterscotch, right? That's the $1,000,000 question. I'll tell you what it is. It's scotch, booze. That is not true at all. It's in fact, butterscotch is this. Brown sugar and butter. You cook those together, so we got the molassesy, buttery, sweeter kind of thing going on, whereas caramel is cooking down white sugar with the addition of maybe like water. So that will be a little more bitter, and it's just kind of, you know, it's not as fun. Caramel, of course, is good too. So we're gonna move on to making the filling part of this. So could I have a medium-sized bowl, me, please? Thank you. And so in the bowl goes 3 egg yolks. Okay, now she's got me going another direction here with a 10-inch frying pan, and it's 3/4 stick of butter. And then we're gonna melt the butter to begin it browning slightly on a moderate heat. It's got a slight browning going on. I'm gonna add in a cup of brown sugar. Stir this to combine and bring it to a boil. So after boiling that for 3 minutes like that, hopefully that's okay. It doesn't look great. It looks like it's separated and like greasy. So we gotta be careful with this next step. I gotta add in a cup of boiling water. She says that this is gonna bubble up furiously and steam. She wasn't lying. So I gotta stir to mix, and then I remove it from the heat to cool. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, this just smells like it's burnt. And I don't think it's burnt. That's not butterscotch. I pushed that way too far because this should be like buttery and molasses heaven. This is burnt. I'm gonna cut my losses. Melt the butter, but I need to brown it slightly for more flavor. Cup of brown sugar. I should mention that's dark brown sugar. Combine it. Now I gotta bring that to a boil and boil for 3 minutes. This just looks so much better. It just looks like a buttery, heavenly thing. And the first attempt was just very separated, which this still is, but it doesn't look as greasy. Smells better too. Okay, so this is what you paid for. Here's 1 cup of boiling water. Just stand back and enjoy the show. This is looking very, very good, but there's just a couple pieces of like crystallized sugar in there that I want to dissolve. So just leaving it on the heat for a minute or 2 longer, I think I can get rid of that. That worked. It worked. There's no more crystallized sugar in there. I think we're good. Take it off the heat. Let's move on to the next step here. A word to the wise here. You don't need to be so eager to add some egg yolks into a bowl because they just kind of get that skin around them. So combine 2 tablespoons of flour, 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, and like a little half teaspoon of salt. Let's combine that first. Sift it into the saucepan. Love it. The hot brown sugar mix in with this. So bring this onto a low-medium heat, stirring it constantly, and be patient while it comes up to a boil. I got it up to a boil, now I need to leave it boiling for a minute. You 3 egg yolks, it's time for your moment. Okay, this is kind of a dicey move here, but a few large spoonfuls of this mix in with the egg yolks, and we gotta temper those eggs. I think we're safe. Some more. That way the eggs don't scramble. Now the rest can go in. Fast and furiously whisk. This is milk that I was supposed to add a couple steps ago and I forgot, or I just didn't see the step. Anyway, this looks beautiful and I still have the milk. I need to do something with that. I was supposed to add the sifted dry ingredients in with the milk before proceeding with everything that I just did. I didn't. I think there's a way to save this though. I'm gonna heat up the milk so that it's warm enough, and then I'm gonna add it in with this, and I think we should be good. 1 2/3 cups worth of milk in here and see what happens. I think the bullet has officially been dodged, because that whisks well. Everything is smooth, everything looks good. Now let's bring this back to the saucepan. Stirring, whisking, and bring it to a low heat. Once I got that to a low boil, then I'm gonna keep it stirring and simmering for 1 minute. Okay, take it off the heat, and I'm gonna add in 1 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. The vanilla stirred in. I think I need a large bowl. Thank you so much. Holy Toledo. Gently folding this mixture to allow the steam to escape. So I gotta keep doing this until the mixture is cool. Into the fully baked pie shell. Oh dear. On top of the pecans, just like that. We have forgotten what that pie shell even looked like. Now we gotta practice patience. Into the fridge for several hours. We're gonna move on to the whipped cream, everyone. So I need a chilled bowl and chilled beaters. Perfect. So adding in 1 cup of heavy cream, 2 tablespoons of confectioner's sugar, vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon, stiff peaks, well, until it holds a firm shape. Easy, easy. Ooh, pie. So this last part here is all her idea, but I have never seen a pie dressed up this way with whipped cream. So I thought it would be interesting. I mean, we are making an old-fashioned butterscotch pie. This is could be an old-fashioned technique. But first of all, before I do that, I want you to see how nice that looks. It looks gorgeous. Spoonfuls of the whipped cream around the edge, around the rim of the pie. Spoonfuls, brother. And then next up, whipped cream in the center. So I don't have my own cake turntable. I don't know why at this point, but I have my microwave plate that I'm gonna use as my makeshift cake turntable. See? With a offset spatula. Yeah, that works pretty well. And then with the back of the spoon, she says to do some swirls. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is purely for the show here. It is the stupidest thing I could possibly do right now, but I feel like I want to do it. Oh, that was much easier than I thought it would be. Order up! gotta say that is a dessert that practices restraint. I thought it was gonna be overly sweet, and it turns out that it wasn't at all. It knew how far to push it and didn't exceed that. I think that's like a kind of like an old-fashioned kind of vibe. I would feel like a modern day dessert would be shouting for your attention, where this just doesn't. It's just right. And the custard was silky and luscious. Not overly buttery either. Again, it was just like right. It was like a warm kind of vibe to it, but not that tingling that you get with an overly sweet thing.
I like the color. I like how smooth and cool and creamy it feels on my mouth. And I like that even though you use milk, they don't call it milk scotch. They call it butterscotch.
So on top we had like a cool layer, it's like a cloud layer of whipped cream. Had some lightness to it, which helped keep the richness of the butterscotch in check. On the bottom was like a very nice, very thin, flaky, crispy pie crust. It was hard to cut a slice, but it was the right thickness. Anyway, I'm pleased as punch over here.
But I'm the butterscotch one of the family.
You know what? I should mention that I'm scraping all the whipped cream off the top of that pie so that I can either freeze the pie or just kind of save it for longer in the fridge, because I don't think the whipped cream is going to help with that. Then I'll just whip up some more whipped cream when the time comes. Anyway, what do you say? Are we bringing it back or not? Butterscotch. You let me know. Or did it ever go away? Was I wrong the whole time? I don't think I was. All right, so I'm out of here. This was Fine and Dine, and bon appetit. Au revoir.